So yeah, guys, like and subscribe and do all that fun stuff. But I want to get into the episode immediately because this one definitely had packed more of an emotional punch so far than any other episode that we've seen. Yeah, so this episode kind of throws you through a loop through because based on the trailers, you knew that there was Bill and Frank were going to be in it, but you weren't really sure for how long. But this episode kind of throws you for a loop when it ends up being essentially all about them, and the second act is all just their backstory. A really great character episode. It does so many great little moments here and there for characters and little tiny things that really say a lot. So yeah, it makes the show kind of start off with you thinking it's about Pedro and Pedro, Ellie and Joel, but then it kind of goes off and we end up focusing on Bill because that's where they're headed. So they literally do Bill's entire backstory, kind of as a setup, but then they change it from the game where Bill ends up. Yeah, obviously, if you're watching this is a spoiler. But yeah, it's the entire backstory of Bill and Frank and how they met. Because in the game, it's like they barely even mention it. And honestly, I haven't played the game in so long that I don't know if they had that kind of relationship between Bill and Frank. But I like showing all the preparation that Bill did with like hiding underground once everyone in his neighborhood got carted away and just straight up went out and got everything he needed. So he's just living large, and then Frank shows up and he's paranoid at first, but Nick Offerman's acting was like so good and just kind of showing how one side of him wants to kick the guy out and be safe, but another part of him wants him to just stay, just to have someone to talk to. He was really good at like portraying that. Yeah, these little looks that like Nick Offerman would do or Bill just kind of somehow it never ceases to amaze me what actors can do with just their eyes and how much they're able to show so much. And he's just kind of showing this like desperation of like both emotions of getting this person out of here or letting them stay around. But I loved how it jumped immediately from them kind of when they're first meeting to like years later, and they're you know a couple and they're having fights and stuff. So this was a great little moment, the kind of lightest moment throughout the entire episode. Because yeah, we go through their entire relationship, but then as they get older, they don't say the word cancer, but I guess it's cancer. But yeah, the development there of the relationship between Bill and Frank was expanded on greatly. And then this moment here where they're attacked by some raiders, and for some dumb reason, Bill just goes out into the middle of the street to shoot at him when he could have just easily hid behind something. So that part was dumb because I don't know why he had to do that. But then they kind of set it up to make it look like he's gonna die, but he doesn't. He doesn't die. And then it's like 20 years later, and they're still together. And then yeah, he's Frank's in a wheelchair, and they don't say the word cancer, but I guess it's something like cancer. I thought maybe he was going to be changing into a whatever, but I thought maybe they were going to go that angle, but they didn't. Episode and a very dramatic scene here where Frank just straight up asks Bill to like put pills in his wine because he doesn't want to keep living like that. I mean, this is a very emotional scene. Yeah, very emotional, heartbreaking scene. Nick Offerman again was excellent, and he definitely made me cry in this scene because of how committed, how good he was in just a scene for bawling his face off. And I cried a little too. So definitely, you're gonna watch this episode. It'll be pretty hard to not cry. I challenge you to not cry. Yeah, I mean the relationship, as short as it was about 40 minutes lasting on screen, or half an hour even. They managed to develop their entire relationship enough for you to be like heartbroken by the end of the episode. And also surprised with the choice that they made in the show based on the game. So Bill and Frank have their last night together, and it's sad. And they eat the same meal that they had when he first showed up, like rabbit and some fancy wine. In this part, because the letter says it was August sometime, 2023. And yeah, like this whole episode deviated from the game a lot, because I know that Frank's alive in the game, and they go find him. But I forget how they meet him, or sorry, Bill. But I forget how if they run into him or they know to meet up with him. But here, yeah, he's dead. They're both dead, and they just left him a note and a key saying, "Take what you want." Yeah, and this is the moment near the end where they're about to leave again in the truck, and Joel is just kind of breaking down the rules. And I feel like this is apart from the game, but it still deviates a little. But they take his truck, they drive on, and I feel like this is kind of like the end of the first act of the show's structure, structurally for the entire show. I feel like this is kind of the end of the first act, as they're kind of really finally going off on their journey at this point. That's what it feels like to me, at least. And then, of course, a big moment here where Ellie finds a gun in a drawer. Because I guess Bill would have guns everywhere, not just downstairs. And then she quickly puts it in her book bag so Joel doesn't know. So that's obviously going to come out in the show at some time. There's no way we're not going to see that gun again. So yeah, just a bit of a foreshadowing or a setup for later when she's going to take that gun out and use it on someone. The first episode to really deviate far from the games. Very sad, dramatic episode, and also very surprising in terms of what they decided to do with Bill and Frank's character. So yeah, once again, I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm going to watch the episode again. It's the first time I reviewed it after just seeing it once. Every other time I've seen it after 2 viewings. So this time is the first time where I've viewed it right after I watch it. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you loved the episode. I hope you liked my review. Please let me know what you think below. Like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next week.